You are ready. Great. Welcome to the January 25th meeting of the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. For our Zoom members, two Zoom members. We are happy that you can join us. Please remember to mute yourself and submit any questions or comments via chat, or unmute yourself and speak to us. Thank you to our greeter today, Lisa Marie Winslow. The prayer and pledge today will be given by Lynn Bauer.
Thank you. Please join me with the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Father, as we gather here today, accept our thanks for this day and all its blessings. As members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community. Keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and upon those things which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Christy King is not here today, and she assures me that there are no candidates for family time. We'll have to hear from her next week. But we have a craft talk brought to us by Crystal Rowan. Crystal.
All right, I understand from, I guess it was Harlan Yo's presentation, when he did a craft talk, that I got to do it in 5 minutes, or you guys ding a bell or throw something at me. So,
Want me to start the timer?
yeah. So I decided not to talk about what I do for a living. I've talked to you about that before. I decided to talk about my Rotary journey, since today is Founders Day. And I am the first Rotary member in my family. And so I thought I'd talk about my little journey. So in 1981, I'm that old. In 1981, I got accepted into a group called Up With People to go sing and dance around the world and celebrate peace. And in order to do that, I had to raise $5,000. So I hired a guitar player and I traveled all around Brevard County where I lived and sang for all different kinds of clubs. And one of those was the Cocoa Beach Rotary Club.
Wow, we're just familiar.
So, and that was all men then. And they gave me some money and sent me on my way. And I did Moose Club and university women's clubs. I sang for everybody, raised my money, went off to Up With People for a year, and sang and danced throughout Mexico and the United States about peace and how we can all live peacefully. And throughout that year, which was 1982 to 83, the Rotary clubs in Mexico and the United States oftentimes were our sponsors for bringing Up With People into the community and were our host families. So I met a lot of Rotarians that way. In Mexico, I got to see a lot of poverty and lack of water, clean water, as well as some really nice homes. Some really nice ranches. So I got to see how different people throughout the world live. Fast forward, came back to Florida, became a lawyer. And in 2009, 2010, I was in Leadership Jacksonville and I met Marlene Roche. Marlene was an executive at JEA at that time, and she was a member of the San Marco Rotary Club. two of us became friends, and we talked about Rotary. So she sponsored me into being a member of the San Marco Rotary Club. And that's where I learned about Polio Plus and all the different water projects and projects throughout the world that are funded by local clubs as well as the foundation. And I dived in. I graduated all 3 levels of the Rotary Leadership Institute. I served as a service projects chair and treasurer at the San Marco Club. And then I had to stop. I had to stop going at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, breakfast club meeting, because I had taken on the responsibility of caring for my mother. She moved in with me. So I eventually moved to this club under the sponsorship of Bob Friedland, and have been a member here since that time. And I've stayed active because I really believe in the national service projects, specifically the Polio Plus and the water projects. I believe that we can make a huge impact on bringing clean water to people throughout the world, and as polio. So that's my journey, and thank you.
Our announcements today, have we an oratory contest update today? Lisa Matthews.
Thank you, President Richard. Well, I have the pleasure of speaking to y'all and giving an update about the oratory contest. And I have to tell you, this is only my 2nd year being involved with it. And it's just amazing what the committee, and I don't necessarily consider myself a full member yet because I haven't learned what you need to do, but Dinkins and Leslie and Les and what they have done to make sure that oratory happens every year is just amazing. So if you wouldn't mind, I would like to first give them a round of applause. I walked in as the MC of the West Jacksonville Oratory Regional, and probably like 30 minutes prior, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to have? What material should I have? And they had it all set up. Dinkins was like, you just go stand up there and speak. And I'm like, good, I can do that. So a lot of preparation goes into making sure that those regionals happen. And I know I, for one, appreciate it. So we have had several of our regionals. Our winners so far, high schools, have been Keystone Heights, Bowles, Yulee High School, and Pedro Menendez. Those are our high school students representing those high schools have won so far. We have one more regional to be hosted downtown, January 31st. So if any of you'd like to participate, I strongly encourage you to. I know you hear it all the time, but it's amazing to hear these young people speak in their personal view. Les was sharing at the beginning of our meeting today about how surprised he was with how the students have interpreted the topic and what he thought we would be hearing about and what we are hearing about. So it's been pretty amazing. It was amazing to be at a regional, and just what this club does. I know we're remiss that we didn't have our own regional this year, but we'll do it next year. I will tell you, the clubs appreciate it so much. They love being regional hosts for our oratory contests. So just if you can attend downtown's regional, I encourage you to do so. And thank you for the opportunity.
I say thank you.
Oh, I forgot to mention the 250 Club. Leslie, you want me to mention the 250 Club? Sorry. So
Okay.
we're going to give members one more opportunity to become exclusive members of the 250 Club. Leslie's going to be sending some information out. Bob, you're looking quizzical, and I know you want to participate in the 250 Club. I know you do, and everybody's going to follow Bob's lead. So Leslie will be sending information out, and it really is an opportunity for us to celebrate our club and our commitment to oratory as we invite other clubs in for the actual event itself. So Leslie will be sending out some more information this week in our weekly gear. So thank you.
Tell me anything about the Alhambra fundraiser today. Yes, we do. Welcome, Stephen.
Just a quick update. Butter all over my feet. Could be worse. February 10th, again, just a reminder, Thursday, 6 p.m., Guys and Dolls at the Alhambra. We have reserved 30 seats. So far, we have 20 of them filled. So we still have some room for warm bodies. We also have received some generous donations from members. Again, $50 is what we're asking if you can't go, or if you don't want to go, but you still like to donate. This is to benefit Daniel Kids. And so, yeah, we're getting close to our goal. So if you have that night open and you'd like to see a good show, again, Guys and Dolls, and I think the food is there. Food is pretty good there too, from what I remember. So anyway, that's where we stand. Thank you. On each of the tables, again, sign up sheet, and also has the details. So, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Next up is John Pope, who will present the Good Government and Frank Sherman Awards. Welcome, John.
Thank you, President Richard. It's my honor to act as chair of the awards committee, and I appreciate the service of the other members of the committee, Alan Betsy, Robert Harris, and George Armstrong. Our committee is charged with recognition to receive the Frank Sherman Service Above Self Award and the Good Governance Award to the board for their decisions. And I'm pleased to announce that the recipient of the Good Governance Award is our own Charlie Cofer. Virginia. He graduated magna cum laude from Duke and received his law degree from the University of Virginia Law School. He began his legal career with Mahoney, Hadlow, and Adams, and later joined the Public Defender's Office, where he served for 18 years. He was appointed a Duval County judge in 1998 and was reelected in 2000, 2006, and 2012. He resigned in 2015 to run for the office of public defender and was elected with 99.87% of the votes cast. Charlie has served in multiple leadership roles professionally and socially, statewide and in Jacksonville. He's been active in youth sports, his church, and has served as chairman of the board and on the board of San Jose Country Club. Please welcome Charlie Cofer. There you are, sir.
Thank you very much.
John.
What do we do this?
All right. How much better? Pretend like you like it.
All right. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
I'm delighted to report that the recipient of the Frank Sherman Service Above Self Award is Bill Langley. And is a true legacy. His grandfather, Robert Langley Jr., was a charter member of our club. His uncle Bob Langley III was in our club from August 1984 to November 2016 and served as president and as a Rotary District Governor. Bill has held all the offices and board positions. He's usually the first to volunteer to fund a project, and he's led our efforts in numerous food pantry projects. As president, Bill led our club in giving, becoming a major donor to the Rotary Foundation. And during his year as president, the club contributed more than $50,000 to charities locally and to the foundation. Bill? My pleasure. Congratulations.
Thank you, John. Are there any other announcements before we continue? There are not. Okay, Lori Whitmer has assured me that we have secured the services of somebody with the appropriate hat to do the 50-50 drawing. Okay.
I'm gonna talk about some real money. So I find an honest person to draw. What could have been anybody. You're gonna love it. I ripped this in half, so I had a half, and this one's bad. You're quick.
Sorry. Something sounds fishy about this.
Never said I was very good at this job. Yeah, why is that? Okay, the number 556-819.
You'll get a commission if I win.
All right.
Yes, right.
Now I haven't done it in a while. You're supposed to draw some card. I'm not sure what I did. That's not. Oh, yeah, it's fake. So, and you have the whole deck, so the after deck is getting this phenomenally low. We're writing here, the whole deck. That's all we got. We may have. I said, well, did we have? We put them back. Oh, we have. So I throw away.
You didn't tell me that.
The losing card you're about to draw. I'll throw it.
Let's go ahead and get it over.
Oh, that's a good one. A good one.
Queen Club.
Queen of Clubs. Ah, right. Thank you. Well, you said
Thank you, and thank you all 50-50 contestants. To introduce visitors and guests today is David Bissell.
Not happy.
Just ask.
I usually disappear long enough to get it.
So I'll handle it. So members with guests, any?
Yes. Danny Wampler is back with us. Now,
Yay.
the horse has her mouth full over there. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Danny.
Oh, good. From other clubs. So not seeing any musical accompaniment, no Lawrence Welk and his orchestra. No Lee Mercier even. So I will step away.
I know.
Yeah. Just so, at least give us a note.
Throw down the phone.
That's pressure right there.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Welcome you say, so glad you came along, glad you came our way. And the fellowship is yours, sunshine or in rain. We here in Rotary say welcome, come again.
We have a very exciting program today for Founders Day. It comes in two parts. And to introduce the first part, Bill Langley.
President Richard. Today you're going to be fortunate you chose the right person to sit with at the table, because today we're going to do a little bit of Rotary trivia. This was actually introduced back in 1957 by one of our founders, Lawrence Payne. It was called Know Your Rotary. So if you'll notice, what we're going to do with each table is going to be their own team. And there is a yellow or golden sheet of paper on the table, and I'd like somebody to record your votes as I read off a couple of trivia questions for you guys. And this is in tribute to our founders and also to the information you know about Rotary. Everybody have a pen? Yeah, no, I'm not at your table. All right, first question. In 1979, Rotary began its fight against polio with a multi-year pledge to immunize 6 million children in the Philippines. In what year did Rotary introduce the Polio Plus program? Terry was definitely around. 1979 was when it was first introduced by Rotary, but the Polio Plus program came a few years later. How many years later? A few. Yeah. All right. The answer, so you get a score of 1 point, is 1985. All right. And second question. In 1985, approximately how many cases of polio were reported on a daily basis worldwide in 1985?
Worldwide, right?
Worldwide. All right, we're close. The answer is approximately 1,000 cases a day. All right, you're getting a little closer to home.
Please.
Each year, Rotary participates in a National Immunization Day. What 3 club members have participated in that event?
Yeah.
And I will tell you, they are all past presidents.
And what if we only, so you get 3 points? Like
You get 3 points, 1 for each person.
Okay.
All right. The answer comes. Past President Bill Jaycox, past President Michael Dara, and our own past President Barry Covington.
I knew the answer.
I knew you knew that.
Did anybody get all 3? You guys did? Oh, man. Great team.
Number 4. In 1905, Paul Harris initially met with how many friends to form the Rotary Club? It was in Chicago. Okay. The correct answer is 3. All right. Everybody knows the first Rotary Club. Answer question number 5. The first Rotary Club was formed in Chicago, but what city was the second Rotary Club founded in?
Should have been Jacksonville.
It's way out west. All right. The answer is San Francisco, California.
But if it hadn't been for the intransigence of people in Jacksonville.
All right, and we should know this. What city hosted the first Rotary convention? It was in 1910. You can think about where the,
Don't give hints.
okay, no hints. It was at the Congress Hotel.
Oh, Chicago.
Mary Ellen.
Bingo.
Write it down.
All right.
This is not bingo.
Question number 7. In what year was the first woman officially admitted into Rotary? The answer number, what year? 1987. This should be all one easy for us. Number 8, what is the Rotary motto? That should be a pretty obvious one. Now, what does RLI stand for? It should be Rotary Leadership Institute.
We're on a roll.
All right, we're on a roll here. Now, on the Rotary emblem wheel, how many cogs are on the wheel and how many spokes? It's an even number. The cogs are little gears on the outside. The answer, there are 24 cogs and 6 spokes.
Do we get 2 points?
You can add 2 points for that.
All right.
Next question, number 11. What is our district Rotary number? It's a 4-digit number. 6970. Getting a little closer. Who is our district governor of 6970?
When?
Right now.
You should.
Rich Cooper from the Rotary Club of Ormond Beach. Number 13, who authored the 4-way test? Yeah, Robert Taylor in 1923. Herbert Taylor, I'm sorry. Herbert Taylor. Herbert Taylor.
He went by
A friend
Robert.
of Barry's. I'm sorry. All right, question 14. How much do you have to donate to become a Paul Harris Fellow? All right. Number 15. Everybody should have gotten that. What date was our club chartered? It's real close to today's date. What date was our club chartered? Month, day, and year was our club chartered?
Did we get all 3
It was,
points?
no. It was January 27th, 1955.
Oh.
And January's not.
It was in the gear.
It's in the gear.
Yeah, and everybody read the gear, didn't they?
Also in the gear. How many charter members were there?
Oh. I saw the picture.
There were 21 pictures, but there were a few missing.
Yes.
All I hope you know this. I know. The answer is 26.
Oh, well, look, I wrote 26.
All right, who was our first club president? All right. In number 18, in what month was our annual, in what month is our annual club meeting? We elect officers for the next year. And the answer is December. All right, number 19. Which current club member has been in the club the longest? Good hint. They're at lunch today.
Oh, that makes sense.
No. I'm trying. He is at lunch today. Yeah, he's awfully quiet for a change. Oh, now this is on. I'm sorry. Past President Barry Covington holds that position. All right. Who serves as chairman of the Plumb Line Committee? And the Plumb Line Committee is the advisory committee to the current president of the club.
I know.
I want to thank for their position. The position, fine. It is the chairman of the Plumb Line Committee is the immediate past president. Who was the first female club president of our club? Vicky Lynn.
Yeah,
Mary Alice.
She's on restriction.
All right. Wrapping up, coming up. Which past president introduced the infamous egg timer to the club? Past President Harlan Ball. Okay, but he was not the first. I did a little bit of trivia. August 20th, 1957, Tommy Thompson presented the club with a custom-built four-sided traffic signal, which hung in front of the speaker's podium, in front of the speaker, complete with green, amber, and red lights. Whether it be the featured speaker, announcements, or even the weekly newscast, green was the go signal. It's your time wisely. Amber signaled the minute of grace, wind it up in a hurry. And we all know what red meant. That means get off and stop talking. And the club president or the program committee chair controlled the change of the lights. That was 1957.
So we don't get a point for Harlan?
You do get a point for Harlan. Question 23, which past president had a secret crush on Elvis Presley and even performed during a club meeting? Past President Dan Roby. All right, here's a little bit of history. What club members formed the Three Tenors? Casey's on it. Casey's close. Now here's president of San Jose Country Club. He's a general surgeon. There's past president Jeff Edwards, Mike Dara, and Lee Mercier.
Oh. So if you got one name right, you got a point.
You got it. Now, what club member is considered to be the godfather of our annual oratory contest? Everybody should get that. All right. Last but not least, I got 1 minute.
Wait a minute, we last but not least.
You get bonus. I got bonus at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
The bonus question is, you probably can tell when it is, starting with our current club president, list in reverse order the past presidents of our club.
Oh, gosh.
Up to 10.
No, it's past 10.
And then. Well, we're only 13, 14. Vicky was in 87. He was 20 years earlier.
Up to 10 years. You can. If you get the year right that they were president. The number she left you should sort of back down in order. If I got all 10? All right, in reverse order. Current president, Richard Dowell. Tom Rainey Jr. B4. Bill Langley. Dan Roby. Jason Burnett. David Bissell. Bill Jaycox. And I think that's, then before that was Harlan Boston. And our oldest still active member or member of the club that was past president was Ted Johnson. He was president in 1981 to 1982. Up to 10 points, one for each correct answer. So if anybody got above 40, they really surpassed. You should have had a total of 30 on the top and 10 on the bottom.
Bill, can I add an extra credit?
Sure.
Years ago, this is before I was a member. Everybody was asked to bring their key employee to one of the meetings. Who did Cody Skinner bring? Cow. Skinner's there.
All right, anybody get above 30 total points? 25, above 25.
How much were the bottoms? I'm sorry.
A point each.
Oh, we got 27.
26. 27. Wow. They did not have the answer. What? 28. Congratulations, and we'll have your awards for you next week. As soon as we think of what they're going to be. There's only 3 of you, right? Oh, Leslie was sitting here, right?
Get an extra dessert.
We're getting extra dessert. You can have whatever. Take one home. I'll take a picture so I won't forget who you are. Thank you very much. Now.
And for the second part of our Founders Day program, President-elect Charlie Cofer, and a look into the history of our club. Welcome, Charlie.
Thank you.
All righty, Rude. All right, today is a special day for our club because it is the meeting that we have annually close to our anniversary of our club, January 27th. Okay, there we go. 1955. Now, up until 1954, Jacksonville only had one Rotary Club. That club we now know commonly as the Downtown Rotary. On September 13th of 1954, the matter of a second Rotary Club in Jacksonville came up for discussion. There was not universal agreement on the matter, but there was universal agreement that any action that should be any action on it should be deferred for about a month. So it's nice to know that some things don't change. So 4 weeks later, the Rotary Club of Jacksonville, today's downtown club, went behind closed doors to debate the need for a second Rotary Club in the city. While the debate was said to be spirited, it resulted in a proposal on the table to, quote, cede that portion of the city in tributary territory lying south of the St. Johns River to a Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. However, the downtown club reserved the right to admit members from that territory whose business, executive duties, or professional activities are wide in scope and without affecting the status of any present member of the club. So the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville was formed on a vote of 126 to 62, which reached the requisite 2/3 vote needed to change the original Rotary Club of Jacksonville charter. So much work was necessary before the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville came into being with the granting of its charter on January 27, 1955. The district governor at that time requested that Frank Sherman survey South Jacksonville and submit a confidential report on good and eligible prospects of different businesses and professional classifications. That report was completed and turned in with favorable recommendations. At the request of past president of Rotary International, Ken Guernsey, a handful of prospective members met with him for a preliminary indoctrination. This resulted in our 26 charter members of the club of 1955. All right. These are 21 of the 26 charter members. In the front row are Raymond Alley, Dave Roberson, Ed Abercrombie, Carl Ambrose Sr., Frank Sherman, right behind the bell, who became the first president of the club, George Martin, there you go, who somebody here I think knows pretty well.
Not related, by the way.
Not related.
Not related.
No, not related. I've answered that question 100 times. Showing your father said no.
Okay. Charles Campbell, Harold Clark, and Harold Ashley in the back row, Gannett Johnson, Erwin Cross, Frank McKinley, Gilly Lockwood, Steve Hellman, Forrest McGill, Bill Smith, Will Coates, Cody Skinner of the infamous Bring the Cow to Lunch Day, Bob Langley Sr., Larry Payne, and John Kirkpatrick. Not present here are the other 5 that were not able to make the initial meeting: Lawrence Pierce, Mackenzie Manson, Henry Dupree, Max Moody, and George Buchanan. So the charter ceremony was memorable. Charter ceremony was held on the evening of February 6, 1955 in the auditorium of the George Washington Hotel. Members of the South Jacksonville Club and their wives were seated at tables in the center of the ballroom with over 600 Rotarians and spouses from Jacksonville and 14 other clubs filling the room. The president of Rotary International, Herb Taylor, author of our 4-way test, gave an inspirational talk and presented the charter to Frank Sherman. On receiving the charter, Frank Sherman requested that new South Jacksonville Rotarians and their Rotary aunts, their wives, to stand. Very impressive scene. These 26 new Rotarians and their proud Rotary aunts stood in the center of the ballroom with floodlights on them while Frank expressed their gratitude for being the new Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. He pledged that all would make their earnest effort to live up to everything that was expected of them, to make the Jacksonville Club proud of the part they played in forming this new club. The Jacksonville Club presented a Rotary bell and gavel to Frank Sherman and officers of the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. This is the Hotel Washington where the charter ceremony was held. It was at the corner of Adams and Julia Street. And by 1960s, it was the only 5-star hotel left in downtown, except for after the demise of the hotel. First club officers.
There you see Frank Sherman again in the center of the front row behind the Rotary belt, along with the original charter officers and directors. In the front row, Dave Robeson, Ed Abercrombie, Mr. Sherman, George Martin, Carl Ambrose Sr. In the back row, Harold Clark, who I remember as a judge, Raymond Alley, Lawrence Pierce, Charles Campbell, Harold Ashley, and Henry Dupree. George Martin was the vice president of the new club, and Abercrombie was secretary. Carl Ambrose served as treasurer. Sergeant at Arms was Dave Robeson, and the other individuals there were all club directors. Now, over the years, Southjax Rotary Club has had many meeting locations. Green Turtle Restaurant out Phillips Highway, south of Emerson. Valley Steakhouse, somewhere we've got to be able to get a photograph of Valley Steakhouse. And then this novel place, the Crown Plaza Hotel. That looks suspiciously familiar. Shows how some things change and some things remain the same. The Radisson Wyndham Hotel, right there on the waterfront. And then River City Brewing Company, which will soon also be no longer in existence, although we do have a photograph of it. And then our short COVID stint at the Southside Baptist Church, where we initiated the dual attendance process, remote and in person. Thank you, President Tom and President Bill, for putting that all together during a very difficult year. And then our president. Wow, that looks a lot like something I just saw. President Doubletree, our present home. Now, over time, our club has sponsored and assisted in founding a number of other Rotary clubs. Mandarin in 1975, South Point Rotary Club in 1999, San Jose's Rotary Club in 2003, the San Marco Rotary Club in 2008, Northwest Jacksonville 2021, our newest club. Thank you, Bob, for your assistance in helping that group out. And I hope next year that I partner a lot with the Northwest Club in service projects and other matters. The Bishop Kenny Interact Club and the Rotaract Club of Florida's First Coast. It may be that since we were a club that was developed out of another one, we've had a great tradition of helping to form and spread Rotary over the community. So I think that's a great attribute of this particular club. During our time, the club has had 4 executive secretaries. And Patty, if you're hearing me, why don't you come in here for a moment? Ruth Rogers from 73 to 1981, Irene Ward, 82 to 87, E.J. Sadler from 88 to 94, and our own Patty Chapman from 1995 to the present. Going strong, she must not have heard me, but let's give an applause to Patty.
She's a glory.
She was, yeah. Just talking about all of our executive directors and the service unit at this club. We all thank you. I know every past president, every committee head, every person who's been a member of this club loves you and loves and appreciates the service you have been to this
Thank
club.
you. It's where my heart is for this club. It's my first venture into Rotary. My first exposure to Rotary was through this club. So, and I've gotten lots of, I just consider this my family because my brother lives out of town. So y'all have been so supportive and I really appreciate it.
If we were your first contact with Rotary, I'm surprised that we didn't kill you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, despite all the trivia, there are a lot of facts about this club that you may not know. Here's some fun facts about the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. Rotary International founder Paul Harris died on January 27, 1947, exactly 8 years prior to the charter of our club. Our banner design, which we have right here, was adopted in 1976, where we adopted the treaty oak as a symbol of our club. And as we have constantly done, we watch out for that oak, and we do service projects cleaning up. We planted palm trees around it. For the first 10 years of the club, members smoked and drank during the meeting.
Yeah.
They probably still do it, Santa say, I could consider a message returning one of those vices. Oh, gosh. But then,
I make a motion.
I'm sorry. Wrong place.
all right. That might be a good time. We're ready. We'll come back to that point. All right. Casey let the cat out of the bag on this one. One time, club members were asked to bring their top employee to a club meeting, and Cody Skinner brought a cow to the meeting. The longest family-related membership in our club is the Langley family, with 6 members spanning 3 generations. The Langley family at one time had 5 active members at the club at the same time.
Did they not have 2 district governors in that family?
We did.
Yes.
All right.
I thought so. I didn't hear that mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Daddy Bob.
That's what I thought.
And the Morales family has had 4 active members at one time. Casey Martin and Bill Langley are the last remaining connections to our club founders. Okay, Casey.
I come clean.
All right.
I'm an imposter.
So your last name's not Martin.
Well, not pretty well.
All right.
I
Well,
knew him. We knew each other, did business together, but we're not related.
well, we'll change the PowerPoint by next time.
Well, okay.
Or we'll just perpetuate the myth.
Give me the next week and make up a good story.
Okay. Member Fritz Sheffield donated 900 acres to the University of Florida for its law program. I imagine that's down in Gainesville. Our late member Marcus Drua was established one of Jacksonville's most profitable hospital gift shops in the city. Items ranging from $1 to over $50,000.
He still has his $2 bill circulating throughout Jackson.
I know. Yeah, and that was a great aspect about Marcus and greeting every new member of the club. The all-time board member, the club member who served on the board of directors continuously for over 25 years was Bob Massey Sr. Thank you very much for your dad's service, Bob. Mr. Massey was club parliamentarian, and our Bob served in the same capacity here. In 1995, the gear, which was sent out regularly, was printed on high-quality paper and mailed to every club member and a few former members. Every gear had to be typeset and printed on a printing press by, I guess, Jerry Hanks. We've gotten more efficient. It was done on a weekly basis. All right, y'all already know the answers to this. 3 tenors. In the early 2000s, the club was repeatedly serenaded by the 3 tenors. Jeff Edwards, Mike Dara, and Lee Mercier harmonized their voices to entertain the members. Rotary was all male until the early 1990s. Spouses of Rotarians were known as Rotary Hands. There was an active organization within Rotary called the Inner Wheel, which was comprised of Rotary Hands. The first female member of our club was Julie Kaplan back in 1990. And of course, Vicki Lynn served as our first female president in the 2008-2009 year.
Those of you who don't remember Julie Catlin, that was Joe Michaels'
daughter, Joe Michaels, was in this club for a long time.
And was president.
Six,
So.
the club has had 6 district governors: Bob Langley Sr., Gus Johnson, Ed Nelson, Bob Langley III, Paul Morey, and Mike Darrow. Barry Covington, Dinkins, Kobe, Gary Wilkinson, Bob Massey, Rick Morales, Tom Rainey, Bill Langley, Richard Mill, Lori Whitmer are all sons or daughters of Rotarians who are members of our club. And Gary, Kobe, and President Tom, as well as their fathers, were presidents of our club. Jason Burnett, John Callender, and Vicki Lynn Gloger, all past presidents of our club, were Rotary ambassadorial scholars. And as noted, Patty has been our executive secretary for over 26 years. George Linville was a club member who wore a red jacket to every meeting. And I knew George from a long time in San Jose, and he was a treat to have. You talk about a positive individual. George was positive. Club member Stephen Wilson's uncle was the mastermind behind the Out-of-Bond. I need to know more about that. But anyway, not for today. First decade of club presidents, you can see those who really helped get this club off to a strong start. And this is the Plumb Line Committee, which is comprised of all the past club presidents. And Richard will be becoming the head of that. And I will tell you, this upcoming year, I'm going to wear this committee. I'll get ready. All right. In an excerpt of a letter to the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville from the late Dr. Paul Morey, he wrote sometime around 1965, a little known fact about Rotary in South Jacksonville has often been related by Rotarian Larry Payne, one of the club's founders, at our fireside meetings in which the background of Rotary is presented to new Rotarians and their Rotarians. Understand, back when this was written, there were still Rotarians. This is the interesting story of how Rotary perhaps really started in Jacksonville. Paul Harris lived in this community for several years just before moving to Chicago. As Larry relates it, when Paul arrived in Chicago, he missed the fellowship which he had enjoyed in Jacksonville, and this motivated him to form Rotary. Some Rotarians initially expressed concern for their ability to contribute the time necessary for regular meeting attendance and other Rotary activities. But almost invariably, as they grow in Rotary, they become deeply involved because, after all, anything which one really enjoys doing does not seem like work. The spirit of Rotary is a thing which gradually evolves in each member, depending on the strength and vitality of their club and their interest in serving others. Rotary recognizes that life's great satisfaction comes in dedication to service. That statement is as true today as it was in 1965. So, I'm going to violate a past decision of this club and invite you all to a toast. Today, we celebrate the founding of our club through celebration in honor of our charter members, all former and current club Rotarians. Their dedication and hard work will ensure that the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville will always be one of the truly great clubs in all of Rotary. Public influence.
All right, so with that, President Richard, I will give this back to you.
All right, very good. Thank you, President-elect Charlie. That was amazing and enlightening. And to bring out the 67th Founders Day of the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville, I leave you with these words, each one bring one, and please rise for our Rotary motto. Service of oneself, one profit flows to serve best.